This is all about series. So the idea of a series is based on sequence, right? So and I'll explain every technical terms in this video. So make sure that you watch the video to the end. Just like saying using iron, right? So iron to iron your dress. This iron is based on electricity, right? Electricity. So the same thing, the concept here is that this series here is based on what? A sequence. And I was playing this thing using what? A pure exams questions. The question says you should find the sum of the series, right? So these are the series. So you have 32 plus what, 8 plus what, plus 2 plus, and so on and so forth, right? So this is the series that we are giving. So the meaning of the series here, as I said earlier, is based on the sequence. So assuming you want to save some money to buy any gadgets, right? Maybe you want to buy a phone, so you decided to make some savings. So the savings per day is what we call what, a sequence. So let's assume that you want to buy an item, right? So any item, of course, right? So any amount that you put down per day, let's say you choose to make a savings of maybe, let's say, $5 or $10, let's say $5 per day, right? So $5 per day here is what we are calling what, a sequence, right? So assuming that is what you call what, the sequence. So if you sum everything together, let's say you need about, let's say, 18 days before you can get to the total amount of money that you needed to buy the phone. So plus what, 5 plus 5 plus, and so on and so forth. So plus 5, the second day, can you see that that one will be 10, right? So plus what, another 15, the third day will be 15, and so on, plus, and so on and so forth. Is that okay? So each day that you are saving is what we are calling what, the sequence. So if you sum everything together here, that becomes what, the series, right? These are just the technical thing. Just like saying that what I'm writing this thing on is what you call a whiteboard, right? So you know this thing by image as well as by name. So if you hear the word series, you should know exactly what it means. What the series means is the summation of all the amount that you've saved, and then per saves per day is what we are calling what, the sequence. So in this video we are solely going to talk about what, a series. The question says I should find the sum of the series based on this thing. So one, you have to know the type of the series. What I mean by the type here is that you have the geometric progression, right? And I'll explain this thing in just a few seconds, as well as what, arithmetic progression. So these are the two type of sequence that we have, right? So now you need to determine whether this is what, a geometry progression, or this is what, arithmetic progression, by what? First of all, picking any of the two elements. So I'm going to go for this, and then as well as this one. So look at the way I'm picking. So when I pick this guy, let's say I'm selecting 8 here, then I will divide that by the previous one. So if I go for this one, I have to divide by the 8, right? And so on and so forth. So we want to determine whether this series is what, a geometric progression. Okay, now how do you determine that? So what I say is that, so 8 divided by what, 36, right? 32. That should be 1 over 4. Is that okay? If you go for this 2, that will be 2 divided by what? The previous number here, just the immediate previous number. That is what? That is 8 still. That is equal to 1 over 4. Is that okay? So you can see that this 1 over 4, this one, that is what I'm going to get throughout my calculation. This is 1 over 4, this is 1 over 4. So if this happens, then we say that we are dealing with what, a geometric progression. This is just a name. You just have to accept the name. What matters here is that you have to understand the meaning behind what, that name. So that is just a simple meaning behind what, the geometrical progression. Of course, the sequence or the series being given to us is what, a geometric progression. Okay, once it is a geometric progression, all that you have to do here is that we are free to go. We can determine what, the sum of what, this series, right? So that's what the question is asking us to find. You should find the sum of the series. What are we going to get if you keep on what, saving this amount of money? Let's say we start with what, $32. Then the next day you decided to save what, $8, and then this thing has what, reduced, right? And so on and so forth. With this three dot minimum, this is up to infinity. So what are we are going to say here is this is what, an infinite geometric progression, right? So an infinite, right? Infinite geometric. So This is the short form of geometry. Geometric what? Series. Of course, this is the a geometric series. So I've already demonstrated that with these three dot test that is continuously, right? Okay, so this is the word an infinite. So here is the key. Here is the only way you can determine whether this type of or what you are going to use to determine the sum of what the series, since we are dealing with an infinite geometric progression. So this is just the notation. So this S stands for what? The sum, right? Summation, right? So maybe the sum of the infinite, so that's the notations of infinite. That's equal to A divided by what? 1 minus what? R, right? So okay, for you to use this particular definition, all that you are going to master here is that you have to know the meaning of this A here as well as the R. So for the R here, R is the division that we've already determined whether the sequence is what? A geometric progression. So our R here is going to be 1 over 4, right? So that is what we call the common ratio in this particular topic, or maybe syllabus, right? So the area is the common ratio. So we've already find the common ratio to be 1 over 4. Which one will be our A? Our A here is going to be the first term in the sequence. So the A here is going to be the first term in the sequence. That is what 32. Right? So the first term here in the sequence, we don't care whoever is here. What that matters is that we are going to select the first number in this sequence. So here is 32. So since A is 32 and then our R is 1 over 4, we are free to go. We just need to substitute everything inside to this definition. So we are going to have 32 divided by 1 minus R. Is that okay? So sometimes this R is based when you have R to be. We use this definition, particular definition here, if your R is less than 1, right? So you consider this thing is of course less than what? 1. Okay. Now just do the so R here is R here is supposed to be 1 over 4, right? So here is supposed to be 1 over 4. So do your calculation. If you do your calculation, you are going to have something that is equal to 128 divided by what? 3 on 4, right? So 3 on 4, that is what you are going to get. If you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below if you have any issues. Okay, now just manipulate this thing. So send everything the other round. But yeah, should be 32 on. So first of all, here is supposed to be 32 on 3 or over 4, right? So if you know how to solve this thing, so if you don't know how to solve this thing, that should be 32, let's say divided by, let's go to the basic level, divided by 3 on 4. So you need to change this sign. That should be 32 multiply by what? 4 on 3, right? So 4 on 3, that should give us what? 128 divided by what? Divided by 3. Are you there? Okay, fine. So this is what? An improper fraction. That's just the name, since the top is bigger than what the down one. So that's what an improper. So you need to change. You may change this into what? A mixed fraction. Write your answer in the comment section below if you've tried this particular question.